let's look under the van now. Starting with the lowest spot on the vehicle, which is the rear differential, we can see that's about 9 inches of clearance, maybe just a little bit more. And so if you're driving through soft sand that's deep, that's going to drag. Just something to be aware of. We can see that there's nothing in the spare tire area on this rig. I would definitely recommend a water tank there. Here's another thing I don't like is where you put shore power in, it's facing the front of the vehicle, so any water or debris is going to go on the inside of that latch. So simply having that latch flip the other way would be a much better design. So that's feedback for the van build. And okay, other things. If you're in an RV park, you're going to be on this side of the van when you're plugging in the driver's side door. And that's where you want your electrical hookup and your gray water dump and your your freshwater insert. So I would have all that stuff on this side of the van instead of having that electrical hookup on the other side. And then I would also have like a cord that could be retracted from inside and outside the van to plug in. We can see that this is not done well. Honestly, I don't know if that was done by the builder or if the owner of the van messed that up, but it definitely needs fixed. And then for the gray water drain, I would use this 1.5-inch hole instead of like a 1/4-inch brass fitting to get things drained. So that's a much better hole to just drill out and put a proper drain in. And I would just use PVC with connectors that work with your normal RV parts. You know, again, if you're in a place where you know, an RV park's where you want to go, that's what you want to do. Here's some fabrication I did. This had one vinyl tube going from the sink into the gray water tank, and the bend was so sharp, the bend radius was so sharp, the water wouldn't drain. So I put this T in here to fix that problem. It's another thing that if I paid for this build out, I would have taken it back to the builder and say, hey, you need to fix this. I paid a good chunk of change, and the standard should be higher than that. But this is a simple fix, and with the T valve there, I just used a cork to put on the other side of the T. So if you ever had food or anything tucked in there, you could just use a flat blade screwdriver to unscrew that and clean out that line with like a coat hanger or something. So that is that. Here's the stock fuel tank, and this model does not have like the extra fuel tank, which I think would be a cool add-on, especially given the fact that this van gets 15 miles to the gallon on a good day, going 60 miles an hour on the highway. You add a headwind in there or anything, and it's not going to do super well. That's the fuel line for the diesel heater. Wish that was bigger. Diesel heater, it does not always work as well as I wish it would. And I think that thin fuel line could be part of the problem. The other thing I don't like about the diesel heater is where this exhaust comes down. You can't quite see it in the frame, but it's right where the mud will shoot off that tire onto it. So I would have that exhaust for the diesel heater routed further back in a spot that was protected from tire debris, closer to the muffler where the heat's not going to damage anything. So transfer case, just a little over foot off the ground. And not really much shielding back here. See the transfer case up there. Let's go have a look at this back suspension. Let's see what we got here. We can see that we have this is a Mercedes strut, and so that could be stock. And then there's just 2 leaf springs, and then naturally, you know, empty weight of the van, we're sitting, there's not much space on that bumper. Let's look at this. I guess that's accessible, a little less than 2 inches. Had I had to do the suspension, or if I was, you know, king for a day with the suspension, I'd have a better strut here, one with an external reservoir for oil, and maybe even another leaf spring or airbags, so you could adjust ride height. We can see spray foam here for the cables, so that's good. I think that's good. All right, let's see what else we got.